The newly captured suspect of the Sai Kung murder case is believed to be the mastermind of the 37-year-old homicide. Independent committee admits it's challenging to submit a report about the deadly Tai Po fire in 9 months. And Ombudsman finds issues in the Medical Council's complaint handling mechanism, laying out 21 recommendations. Good evening, you're watching Cable News. I'm Evan Bai. A 62-year-old Hong Kong murder suspect wanted for a 1989 killing in Sai Kung has been brought back from Thailand after nearly 37 years on the run. Police Chief Joe Chow expressed gratitude to Thai police and highlighted the force's resolve to bust every single criminal. Quentin Yang reports.
The man, surnamed Mui, was arrested by Thai police in Bangkok on Monday and later handed over to Hong Kong authorities. Upon his arrival this evening, he was immediately detained at the airport on suspicion of murder. Police believe Mui masterminded the 1989 Long Ha Wan case, in which a 25-year-old man was allegedly killed and buried in sand. Mui fled Hong Kong the day after the crime and lived under a false identity in Thailand for decades. Police Commissioner Joe Chow, who had just returned from a duty visit to Bangkok, said the suspect is the longest wanted fugitive in the SAR's history and hailed the arrest as a proof of inescapable justice. Chow thanked the Royal Thai Police for their assistance, while noting that Hong Kong investigators never relented, as they secured an Interpol Red Notice and sought Thailand's help once confirming Mui's whereabouts. Chow said prosecutors have reviewed the evidence and deemed it sufficient to charge Mui with murder, though he withheld further details ahead of court proceedings. 3 other suspects in the same case were previously convicted, with 2 jailed for life and 1 for 8 years. Quentin Yang, Cable News.
The independent committee inquiring into the Wong Fuk Court fire held a directions conference, confirming that the first substantive hearing to probe the cause of the blaze will take place on March 19th. Committee Chairman David Look outlined the panel's terms of reference, while admitting that meeting the 9-month report deadline will be challenging. Cheryl Yu reports.
The conference was chaired by Judge David Lock and saw the presence of committee members Chen Kin-por and Rex Aoyang. Also present were the appointed councils of the committee and the Urban Renewal Authority. Locke described the tragedy as a grave one, stressing that the public has high expectations for the committee to uncover the true cause of the fire. Locke did not rule out the possibility of requesting the chief executive to establish a full commission of inquiry if necessary. He pledged that the committee would thoroughly examine the origin of the fire, as well as all related aspects of building maintenance projects in the estate, including potential bid rigging and corruption. However, he made clear that determining punishments or assigning legal responsibilities falls outside the committee's scope. Victor Dawes, the former chairman of the Hong Kong Bar Association and one of the appointed counsels, said the team had already received a substantial amount of information pointing to systemic issues. He urged all relevant parties not to withhold any information in their possession. Meanwhile, Locke also admitted that completing the entire probe and delivering the report within the 9-month time frame remains a challenge. The formal public hearings will begin on March 19th and will be held in open court. The public has until next Tuesday to submit relevant evidence or information. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
An Ombudsman investigation has found systemic issues in the management and operation of the Medical Council's complaint handling and monitoring mechanism, putting patient safety at risk if cases involved serious professional misconduct. The report came after the Office of the Ombudsman's direct probe into the Medical Council, stemming from media reports highlighting a 15-year delay by the Council in handling a complaint involving an infant left with cerebral palsy and several other suspected case delays. The report noted that as of last December, the Council had a backlog of 893 complaint cases, with a small fraction of cases outstanding from extremely long periods. At least 11 of all completed cases between 2020 and 2025 took as much as 10 to 15 years to wrap up, reflecting shortcomings in the Council's Secretariat's monitoring practices and mechanisms for tracking case progress.
Overall speaking, the current investigations and disciplinary proceedings into complaints against medical practitioners are excessively long and fall far short of public expectations. This situation has serious implications and may cause unfairness for both complainants and the complaintees. Cases involving serious professional misconduct, if such misconduct has actually existed, may even pose a risk to patient safety.
The office came up with 21 improvement recommendations, including clearing the backlogs before April 2018, streamlining procedures such as adopting the facts established by the court to save time, stepping up the management and performance supervision of Secretariat staff, as well as establishing a communication mechanism between the Council and the Department of Health. The Labor Department said a proposed $3,000 fixed penalty for workers smoking on construction sites will be far more acceptable to the industry than the earlier suggested $150,000 maximum fine, and considers the proposed $400,000 cap on fines for employers appropriate. Cheryl Yu reports.
The government's initial proposal of a $150,000 maximum fine for workers caught smoking on construction sites drew backlash for being overly harsh.
40萬都係一個合適嘅水平嚟。
Taking to the airwaves, Commissioner for Labour Sam Hui acknowledged there was room for adjustment. He said replacing it with a $3,000 fixed penalty would be far more palatable to the industry. As for penalties targeting contractors and subcontractors, Hui described the proposed $400,000 cap as reasonable, as it allows courts flexibility to decide penalties on a case-by-case basis. He emphasized that employers' responsibility extends beyond the act of smoking itself, as it also includes whether they have taken sufficient measures to prevent and enforce no smoking rules on site.
所謂地盤嘅出邊咧，可以係地盤圍街板出邊啦，或者
Chow Si-kit, chairman of the Hong Kong Construction Industry Employees General Union, who appeared on the same program, welcomed the revised proposal. He suggested establishing designated smoking areas outside construction sites to better balance fire safety concerns with workers' needs. Chow also proposed installing surveillance cameras at sites to help monitor and enforce the smoking ban more effectively. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
The Immigration Department and mainland authorities arrested 119 people in connection with the syndicate that sold fake identity cards and employed illegal workers. During the operation, officers seized about 40 fake Hong Kong identity cards and multiple tenancy agreements for illegal workers' dormitories and room keys. The ring was first uncovered by mainland authorities in last August, which had been recruiting mainland residents via chat groups to work illegally in the city. The syndicate allegedly provided them forged ID cards, dorms, and job hunting assistance, charging about $3,200 per card and at least $1,600 per month for a bed space. Following around 1 year of operation, the syndicate is expected to have earned more than $20 million, the largest sum recorded in a case of this kind to date, the department said. Mainland officers subsequently raided 2 counterfeiting sites and arrested 17 people. While in Hong Kong, immigration officers raided multiple locations and arrested 102 people, including 2 alleged ringleaders and core members. The department did not rule out further arrests. The Hong Kong Federation of Students, a student body with a 68-year history, has formally voted to begin its dissolution. In a statement written in Chinese and published on social media, the group said its standing committee had agreed to disband during today's meeting, citing increasingly huge pressure in recent years, and decided to draw to a close after considering all factors. According to the HKFS Constitution, dissolution of the group must be approved by its executive committee and supported by at least 3/4 of representatives in the General Assembly to become effective. Currently, only the Students' Union of Lingnan University participates in the Standing Committee and Representative Council of the Federation. The other three member unions from the Chinese University of Hong Kong, the University of Science and Technology, and Shuyan University have either ceased operations or have not assigned representatives to take part. President Xi Jinping and U.S. President Donald Trump have used a high-stakes phone call last night to try to steady a turbulent relationship between their two countries, missing sharp warnings on Taiwan with fresh promises of soybean deals and a planned April visit by Trump to Beijing. Kunting Yang shares more.
In the first leaders' call since November, Xi told Trump he attaches great importance to China-U.S. ties and urged Washington to handle arms sales to Taiwan with utmost caution, reiterating that Taiwan is an inseparable part of China and that Beijing will never allow it to split away. Trump, speaking afterward on his social media platform, described the conversation as very positive, highlighting progress on trade, military issues, Taiwan, the war in Ukraine, and Iran, while stressing his personal rapport with Xi. On the economic front, Trump said China is considering sharply increasing purchases of American soybeans to around 20 million tons this season and 25 million for next. Alongside more American oil, gas, and aircraft engine deliveries, moves that will give a major boost to U.S. farmers and energy exporters. Beijing, for its part, framed the call as a step toward mutual respect, peaceful coexistence, and win-win cooperation, pointing to this year's 15th five-year plan starting China and America's upcoming 250th anniversary as reasons to deepen dialogue and manage disputes. Both sides now look ahead to Trump's planned state visit to China in April, with Trump saying he expects many positive results over the next 3 years, and Xi pledging to help steer the bilateral ship through storms toward more stable waters. Kunting Yang, Cable News.
The Paris Public Prosecutor's Office said 4 people, including 2 Chinese nationals, were arrested for allegedly spying on behalf of China. In Beijing, the Foreign Ministry refuted such malicious slander. The prosecutor's cybercrime unit said in a statement that French police received a tip-off last Friday about 2 Chinese citizens who had rented a guest house in Gironde, southwestern France, allegedly intercepting satellite data from Starlink network, including exchanges between military entities of vital importance. The suspects aim to transmit the data to China, he added. Investigators searched their place on January 31st and found a computer system connected to satellite dishes used to receive satellite data. The duo was subsequently arrested. 2 others were detained for illegally importing the equipment. A judicial investigation has been launched, mainly focusing on the disclosure of sensitive information to a foreign entity, harm to national interests, and theft of organized data.
我不了解你提到的情况。
Foreign Ministry spokesman Lin Jian said he was not aware of such a situation, adding that, in principle, China opposes malicious smear and slander and urges the relevant party to earnestly protect the legitimate rights and interests of Chinese nationals. The opening day of trilateral peace talks involving Ukraine, Russia, and the United States was substantive in Abu Dhabi, said Kyiv chief negotiator, while the 4-year-old war in Ukraine is still up in the air. After the meeting, Rustem Umerov, head of Ukraine's National Security and Defense Council, said on social media platform that discussions have been focusing on concrete steps and practical solutions. He added that the 2-day negotiation process will continue on Thursday in a working group format. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov declined to disclose any details, saying the doors for a peaceful settlement are open. But Russia will continue military operations until the relevant decisions are made by the Kyiv regime. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said a breakthrough on Ukraine-Russia peace talks may not come for a while, as the remaining checklist of open items is the most difficult one. He said, however, it was good that there is engagement going on. The fate of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power station, the largest in Europe, and Moscow's demands that Kyiv's cede territory is still controlled are the most sensitive issues. Now let's take a look at the stock market. The Hang Seng Index ended the day up 37 points. Top active stocks of the day: Tencent was up 50 cents, Alibaba was up 10 cents. Potmar was up $5.20, SMIC was down $1.30. Foreign exchange against the Hong Kong dollar: Canadian dollar 5.71, Australian dollar 5.45. On to the weather now. Mainly cloudy, coastal mist and 1 or 2 light rain patches. Warm with sunny periods during the day. Temperatures will range between 19 and 25 degrees. That's our news tonight. I'm Effing Bai. Thank you for watching and good night.